So this is my recommendation. I just got this book. It's The Six Loves of Billy Binns by Richard Lumsden. And I think it came out last year. How would it feel to fall in love one last time? And it says uplifting and heartbreaking. How could it be at the same time? I do not know. But it's really funny, and I love the quote at the beginning. Richard Lumsden is, or I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, a former British or current British actor. And this is what it says. For all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, it might have been, by John Greenleaf Whittier. It's really nice. It's about this old man, and he's recalling his life. I think it's very touching because I just like the way it's written, first of all, and a lot of humor. And we're all going to get old if we don't die. I have to get this out. I have to get it down before it's gone for good. While it's still clear in my head, while they're all set beside me, as alive now as they were then, these people I once loved. I thought that was a very beautiful quote. Let me skip a bit. Skip. So he's mentioning his loves and also his son. It's 1914 and I'm as old as the century. A boy on his bike up Shepherd's Bush Green. So I also like England, so it's quite nice. And it goes back to the story of his birth, which I thought was really nice. So let me see. And then it skips between time, goes back and forth between his present day life in an old people's home, which is heartbreaking. Yeah, that's true. And then his former life. I'm not meant to be born for another 6 weeks. Dad and Ma are at the Hampshire Hog on King Street with Auntie Pam and all the neighbors saying goodbye to 1899. Ma and the men were sour having to bring Mom said the men were sour having to bring their wives with them. She and Dad argue whether the new century means that night or the next year. Most people think the 20th century doesn't start till 1901. That's kind of interesting. My grandparents were born in 1903. My maternal grandparents, both of them, I think. Both of them. Why don't I know? It reckons it starts now because 1900 sounds very different from 1800. When midnight approaches, everyone pushes outside to hear the church bells ring the new year in. People are kissing and hugging, and Ma starts to feel peculiar and can't find Dad in the crowd. She gets dizzy and makes her way home. The sun's up by the time Dad comes back the next morning, still pissed, and I'm wrapped in a blanket on Ma's arm. She said Dad's face was a picture. Apparently he'd always wanted a boy. I remember liking hearing the story from Auntie Pam, and sometimes I think I can actually remember being born. Dad expecting an earful and finding he's got a son. Ma doing it all on her own with no help other than Auntie Pam because everyone else was stone drunk at the time. I thought it was really touching, and I like that the depiction of the family relations is not ideal, but he talks about the friction and with the aunt and everything, and it's just nice. So talks about his pen, which I like, and this is a funny scene. Talks about his pen. It still works. It still doesn't work. So she squeezes the ink. Somebody is helping him with the pen until it bubbles onto the nib. She writes a solid black line and draws circles on the paper to make sure it keeps working. She's made a right mess of my first page of memories. I clasp the pen in my twisted fingers and write my first word like they taught in handwriting at school. It's also a nice memory. They used to teach that at school. I've thought of a proper title so that when it's finished, I can give it to Archie, that's his son, and he'll know what it's about. It's hard to make the pen work because my fingers won't grip tight enough. I clench it in both hands but can't get the ink to come out. I push it down hard to force a mark onto the page, tap it onto the table to get some bloody ink out of the damn thing onto the page, to get some bloody ink out of the fucking pen on the bastard fucking page. There it is, the start of the title, faint among the blotches. There. I love that. So much humor. British humor is the best. So, this is kind of sad. It goes between funny and sad. Bittersweet. I don't remember coming to bed. It's dark outside, and I might have been to sleep already. A train rattles by in the distance. Funny how you can't hear the sound of the tracks in the day. Sylvie took ages. I guess that's somebody who works in the nursing home. Sylvie took ages scrubbing with the cloth to get my inky fingers clean. No amount of scrubbing will get the black off Sylvie's hands. Well, there's pink on the middle of the palms, on the inside of the palms. Beautiful Sylvie. I remember loving a girl like Sylvie somewhere along the way. It's hard when all your friends have gone and married. All your friends have gone and you're the last still alive. When no one around to say what a decent chap you were. That you weren't always a dumb ass who gets confused where one day ends and another begins. Lying here, the sound of a train on distant railway tracks takes me back to the trams on the green. I thought that was a bit sad, but it makes me feel good because I don't really have good connections with anyone at the moment. So that's good. I have nobody to miss. I mean, only my children. So a boy on his bike up Shepherd's Bush Green. And describing characters, and I like it. I like the way he describes characters. I have another book that I'm reading at the same time right away. My aunt used to do it. I think it's a sign of ADDH. Whenever ADDH, it doesn't mean you can't read. It just means that you really can't focus on one book at a time. It's a good book. It's a good book. So I like the way he describes the characters. It makes me hope that men are human beings and have emotions. There's really vivid descriptions, very good descriptions, I think. So, let me see. Ross has brought in her boyfriend's old typewriter as he uses a laptop now. She reckons it'll be easier for my fingers than a messy pen. She knows I won't go near the Toshiba used by residents wanting to surf the internet. She brings paper from Mrs. Akinemi's office and shows me how to roll it into the machine. I don't have any trouble pressing the keys with my fingers and remember that most of the letters are cold. With some like percent and it will take a little working out. I like the sound it makes. Tap, click, tap, click, tap, click, tap, click. Anyway, it's really, really, I like that they even talk about the process of writing. This is a good book for somebody who's interested in writing, somebody who's interested in age, somebody interested in memories, somebody who's interested in love, which is a lot of people, I think. So peace, light, and love. Till next time.